Hello and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. Thanks for watching. My name is Rich Tehrani. We are at Interop 2010 in Las Vegas. On our program today is Dimitri Volkmann, who is with Good Technology. Dimitri, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Great. Can you tell us about your company, please, what you're up
Yes.
to?
Yeah. So Good Technology actually has two major poles. One is called Good for You, which provide a simple email in a white label form for carriers and device manufacturers. And the second pole, which I take care of, is called Good for Enterprise and Good for Government. And in this pole, we actually provide messaging and collaboration software for enterprises. And we deploy this solution on mobile devices, so iPhone, Android, Windows Mobile, and Symbian.
So what trends have you seen in the market in the last few years?
Well, probably the major trend we've seen, and especially this was triggered by the iPhone, is that we see what we call so-called consumerization of IT. So we see individuals that basically acquire mobile devices and they use them in their personal life and they come to the office with those devices. So we see this interesting element where people sometimes have a device that is procured by the company for their email and their personal device.
Right.
So that's the biggest trend we've been seeing.
And do you help at all with that?
Yeah, well, now what we do is, I said we provide messaging and collaboration software. And the way we do that is interesting in the sense that we actually provide a client on the mobile device and we actually call that a container. And this container is actually secured. So first on the device in terms of encrypting the information and also in the communication with the backend server, fully encrypted. And this container can be completely controlled by IT independently from what the rest you have on your devices. So that fits very well with this trend because we can see people that come with their personal iPhone and we can say, well, we're going to install the Good container on your device. This Good container will be controlled by IT, so everything which is related to work will be secure and controlled by IT. But once you're outside of this container, you can do whatever you want. You can do your Facebook, you can have your pictures, you can use whatever app you want. So that's the very interesting trend where we really see the industry going from managing the devices to managing the enterprise space or managing the applications that are critical for enterprises.
Or the container in this situation, right? I mean, the container idea is wonderful just because it sounds like it's isolated from the other applications, right? And it just, like you said, it's more secure. Is it remotely wipeable?
Yeah, it's actually more than just wipeable. It's fully controlled. So we have set up policies that you can apply. You can enforce password. If it's lost, you can wipe it. You can also, if you have several services on the device, because we provide email, but we also provide access to intranet or access to corporate IM, you can turn them on and off per user. You can have a group of users. So you get a complete control on what you basically deliver to your employees.
So are you seeing any trends in market purchase from different parts of the world?
Well, US is still very much leading in terms of adoption of iPhones, and Android is starting to get there. When we look at Europe, iPhone is growing actually very well in the UK and in France, and it's coming in Germany as well. So US is a little bit ahead in terms of adopting those smartphones, but it's going to Europe as well.
So it seems to me, I mean, if I could just encapsulate this a little bit, our discussion, but it's almost like the equivalent, or you do some of the things that like a BlackBerry enterprise server would do for an enterprise, but you're device agnostic as to what devices you could use.
Yeah, that's a way to see that. Yeah, that's a way to see that. We really provide if you want, the same level of security and enterprise robustness of all those new devices.
Now, let's say a corporation has some BlackBerries. How does that work with your solution?
Well, I would still use BlackBerry because on the BlackBerry, RIM provides an email solution, and they only want to do that. They only want to allow that. So you will have your BlackBerries, and you will have your iPhones, your Android.
So depending on which product you have. Okay.
Now, what we do is, because we are focused on heterogeneous environment, is from an IT perspective, we give an homogeneous view for the IT managers of all their devices. So what I mean by that is when you enforce those security policies, whether the user brings an Android or an iPhone, it will look the same from a management console.
Okay.
So you basically will have the BlackBerries and the others if you want, and we manage the others.
And you have to deal with all the different devices out there, like Nokia's and Sony Ericsson and all that.
Now
right?
we actually, the interesting thing is that we provide this container and this client. So the question for IT is that, well, we check what Good has, and if it's good at it, it's welcome.
Okay.
That's the way it really functions.
Okay, fantastic. So what's next for the company?
Well, first I said we are on the path to providing more than email. So we're adding more and more services into this secure container.
Sure.
And we're building that on the top of our platform. So it's fairly easy to imagine that we could open this platform and allow corporations to deploy their own apps, again, secure in our container. So we really have this vision that, again, that the corporations are going to move from controlling completely the device to really controlling an enterprise space or an enterprise container. And in this enterprise container, we're going to deliver more and more services and allow enterprises to deliver more and more services.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic to meet you.
Great.